Okay. Hello, dear friends. Good evening. Such a beautiful, beautiful evening. So, I would like to take this opportunity while trying to fall asleep and trying to induce you to fall asleep and doing some blah, blah, blah. And I have something that I want to share with you. First, I am starting to pay attention to my audio quality because every day as I drive by from time to time, I listen to podcast or listen to some good recordings, audiobooks, and I was very much inspired. It's such a positive way or wise way of using my time. And I feel it's very beneficial. And I think it's because thanks to your comments, I feel that my voice, although very weak, although I cannot have power in my voice, but sometimes I do have power, I tell you. Anyway, my voice. Some people say that I have a voice that calms down people with a relaxing voice. And I feel this is a gift from heaven. And if I do not use it, I am wasting a gift that is from heaven. So I want to use my gift. I want to do podcast or the kind of video that blah, 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 and can let you listen to it. Ignore the background image. But actually, this background image is a couple of months ago. We went to Australia, Banff National Park, and my son did the video footage in 4K 60 frames per second. And I thought it's a very good image, so I slowed it down and do some voiceover over this beautiful image. You do not need to look at it. So this is the first thing I want to talk about. Just randomly talk about something. And I do need your feedback. What is good? What is not good? And I listen to my video. From time to time, I listen to my video. For example, today I put my math video in the classroom, and then I immediately, very, very grateful for one critic from one friend. This friend said, "You will never be a good math teacher. You will never be a good math teacher because you speak too much." And I think that is very, very true, that I have too many words in between. Maybe I should improve on that part. So no matter how sharp your comments, how hard it sounds, I accept. I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your suggestion so that I can improve. Okay? So that is the preface of this video. This video's goal is to talk about karma. and talk about afterlife. I got one friend asking a great video, Yang Haiying, was wondering if you could do a video on your philosophy on afterlife, if you have any. The truth is that I do not have a philosophy about afterlife. I have never thought about afterlife. And it is something that is too far away to think about. I am focusing on today, on this moment, on trying to improve my daily action, my everyday action, to control my anger, to improve my efficiency, to make myself look better, make myself talk better, to improve my voice, to improve my appearance, to improve my overall self of today, this moment. So I actually do not have a philosophy about it. But today I also got a friend send me an email about karma. So let me just, there is no name. I think it's very a neutral message. So I would like to share with you. There is something very deep, very profound, and very sincere and honest. So, Haiying, I have heard you talk about karma on and off, and I want your opinion on it. First of all, what is karma? Do you believe in karma? And also, should I always allow karma to have control and not worry about other people around me? Or at what point it is okay for you to stop, to step in and stand up for yourself in a way, and give someone what they are coming to, what they are coming for. It's not evil in an evil or bad way, but not let other people, not let someone get away with what they are doing with something. Should I always allow karma to do what is needed to do? And when it is okay to take control of the situation, especially if someone is ruining your life and is being unfair and is annoying you. And this is not from the message. This is what I am adding up. So I think this is a very good topic to talk about, the karma thing. I do not understand the word karma because karma is not in my language. It might be in the Buddhist language, in the religious language. It's not in. I do not see this character, so it does not really get into myself. But what I believe is fairness, is a universal fairness. Life is fair. What you have done today will come back to you sooner or later. It will come back to you. And you cannot get away from what you have done wrong today. What you have done wrong today You can escape today, but it will come back to haunt you. You cannot run away from what you have done wrong. If you have done something right, it will come back to you and reward you in big way. And there is no wrong about it. So I should tell you a story. And this is a true story. This is the most unbelievable, amazing story I have experienced so far in my life. So you know something about my life story. So I was in Beijing, and my boyfriend was at that time was in France, and he went back to France, and I was in Beijing, and we missed each other, and finally we decide that I go to France to study, to become a full-time student. And then at that time I started to do my student procedure. You know, being a Chinese with the passport restriction, with the visa restriction, with the financial aid, financial proof situation, it is very, 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 very difficult for a Chinese to go abroad to study. It's very difficult. It's not like American students to go out to study, foreign students, European students go out to another country to study. It's not like that. So it is difficult. I was hoping I could get approval. Then there was one thing happened. One day, as I walk in Wang Fujing Street, in the most busy street in Beijing, as I was walking, there was one person fell down, and that person is a foreigner. I speak English. I studied English, so I speak English. So her husband was trying to hold her up, but she could not move. And that was the most amazing thing. I just passed by, and then I asked, "Can I help? How can I help?" And I want to practice my English. And also, I saw somebody in hard time, so I wanted to help. And that was the most amazing, that was the most unbelievable thing. The lady fell down, and her foot, the bone snapped. 关节脱环了，断了。I could not explain it. Is the leg and the foot connected in the middle with the ankle or something? Anyway, so her foot was dingling, just wobbly. It's broken. She fell down, and the leg broken. And she was not running, not anything, and broken. So I said, "How can I help?" So I went to, it was a food store. So I went to the food store and asked a trolley. There are other people helping also. People just people around. There were many people already. And I was one of the only person who can speak English. And then we communicated. And finally, I got to understand it's an Austrian couple coming China to do business. And in the evening, they were shopping. And then the wife, the foot got broken. And I sent them to hospital. There was a hospital nearby, and I just pushed that with the husband and one of their friend, pushed all the way, half an hour, 1 hour time, pushed all the way to the hospital. And then the hospital start to do operation. It's one of China's best hospital. They were very lucky. I do not know what is going on at that moment. It must be karma, karma. And the hospital was open for foreigners. Is one of the top hospital in China, 协和医院. So the person spoke English about anesthesia or something. At that time, I did not know those words, local anesthesia or full body anesthesia or sedent anesthesia, something. I am not very good at explaining it. Let me calm down and explain. Anyway, it took very, very long hours. If I remember well, I have stayed there 3 or 4 hours until she went to the operation room, and then I went back home. I left my telephone number to that couple. That's the only thing I left. No money, nothing. And they were very grateful. They thanked me. And I said, I just want to do something good, because if I do something good thing will happen to me. And I did not think about anything else. A few months later, the friend, they were 3 of them, the friend came back to Beijing again to do business and give me a phone call. And we met in a hotel restaurant, and he told me that the wife recovered, and they are very grateful for the help I made. Can you guess the result? A few months later, I got my visa to go to France, and I became the me of today, travel around the world, lived in France, lived in India, lived in Australia, lived in Brazil, and now live in America. I lived in UK, Swiss cottage. So, do good things. I do not know if that is the karma, that is the result directly from that time. But you do good things, you will get good result. This is my belief. I do things to be responsible for my day, to deserve my life living here, to not hurt other people. And I want to live without regret. I do not think about afterlife. it's too far away. And it's too surreal. It's not real. I live today and do the right thing as much as I can. And I have a lot of flaw. I have a lot of weakness. I have a lot of problems. I make a lot of mistakes. And I will keep on making mistakes. I will keep on having flaws. And I will keep on have weakness. That is the authentic me. But as much as I can, as much as my ability allow me, I try to reduce my mistakes. Live with fear. If you do not live with fear, it's not a healthy life. If you cut short this sentence, I will be totally a coward, will be totally wrong. But let me finish. Because we fear death, so we live this life as much as we can enjoy. Because we fear the life is too short, we want to extend the value of our life. We want to extend our life by putting more value in the limited time. We should live with fear, not fear others, because they have nothing to do with us. Like yesterday's story, if I decide not to accept other people's insult, the insult will not have effect on me. We should live with the fear of our own self, of our own mistake, of our own inability to make the right judgment. We should have the fear of that. Not fear other people, not fear problem, not fear this mistake, but fear our inability. So we always live in such a tightened up, in this tightened up a spirit, or tightened up a mentality. Then we can do good. We can have less regret. Of course, we make mistakes. It's not a problem. We fear about some higher level wrongs. So now we come back to this karma thing. And so you mentioned if some people do wrong things, wronged us, shall we Shall we return it? Shall we take control of it? Shall we put it square, fair and square? 把这个事情摆平。I think it depends on a personal character, and it depends on the situation. Karma, in a sense, is consequence. I believe everything has a consequence. Good thing have a good consequence. Good deed had a good consequence. Bad thing have a bad consequence. Whoever take the action to execute this matter, whoever is the doer or solver of that, at the end of the day, it will be fair. There are times you need to stand up. And I am very, 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 very bad at saying no. I think this is one of my fear. One is making telephone call. Another one is to say no. And it's just so hard for me to say no. And I started to learn to listen to that rejection proof book and started to try to say no. I remember there was one time when I went to the swimming pool and I was there. There was another person come in, share the lane. And because I was first, so I have a priority in choosing the lane. And the other person use a better lane. And then I stand up. And then I stood up to my ground. And I took the right lane. I said, I came first. Gosh, at that moment, it almost killed me. That fear to say something that I feel so right. It takes so much courage to say just this little thing. And I did. And I felt so good after that. So my weakness is that I do not take action to take revenge, to put things fair and square. I always rely on heaven to do it. This might be my mistake. At least I could not be the person to make a judgment or to solve this inequality anyway. But it worked for me. I felt I have my priority that I need to take care. And those things is not my priority. But if you think that is your priority, and you need to put it fair and square, you need to give a justice to that matter. I am 2 hands up support you, even 2 feet up supporting you. 2 hands, 2 feet up supporting you. Go ahead, do it. Think about it. Think through, make a decision, do it, and no regret. And that is it. Thank you very, very, very much. I I love you. I really do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do.